Hello. Welcome to Why We're Talking About Rabbits. Seth's on. We're going to talk about war. And when we do talk about war, you're going to notice that we're going to talk about would you fight in a war? And why would an atheist fight for anything? And what would an atheist fight for? We talk Palestine, Israel. We talk about, of course, a lot of stuff that most of you would think is stupid. Oh, and before you jump in, do consider joining us as a recurring donor. If you like that kind of thing where people help themselves, jump on, donate. I'm trying to get 50 people before January 1st. We have so far 11 new donors. Make yourself number 12. This is Seth. This is WAWTAR. Uncle Seth.
I'm back. I'm back.
Are you in Chicago?
I am in my basement, straight out of my basement.
Did you hear that music they just played by a guy named Greg Gilbertson? He wrote our music. He's like you, a musician.
Okay.
And he, like you, plays around town and stuff, but he's playing with his buddy Joe Pug in Wisconsin at Chippewa Falls.
Great.
Am I invited to a concert? And we're doing a dinner, a KP dinner before that concert on December 3rd.
Oh,
and
I'm
you
definitely
are
crashing
invited.
I'm coming.
Today we're going to talk about war. And I got a specific question for you.
Okay.
If you don't know, if for some reason you're tuning in.
First, can we have a toast?
Oh, what am I talking about? What's wrong with me? I'm busy. Big event coming up this week. Art of the Tamada. Can I give you aloe verde and maybe you give us a toast to start us off?
No, but I'm gonna. Is there any double aloe verde so I can give it right back to you?
All right, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do it traditional. I'm going to do it in our world. We're coming up on the Christmas fast. I heard you're having a party, by the way.
It's a birthday party, people. Mine and Jesus's.
Jeez, this is not going to go well. I would like to make a toast in advance of the nativity season. It all starts on September, this whole process toward Christmas for the Theotokos, the mother of God. And so, although we disagree about these things, that's why we come on to talk about them. I want to start with a toast to her who made all things possible through her ascent to God and said, hey, let's do a Christmas season by inviting God into the world named Christ. So to Theotokos, even though you and I may disagree, to gratitude and giving thanks to the high things, man. Gagi Marjos. I'm drinking a sheepdog scotch.
I'm drinking a Pilsner Urquell, everybody. So.
Oh, Pilsner's nice. I said scotch. I meant whiskey. It's called the sheepdog.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a war going on. You may have heard about it.
There is.
When you teach your students, do you like blatantly pick a side? Otherwise, you get canceled. Like, what happens?
You know, I saw somebody had written, a tweet or whatever. I'm pro Israel. Because that seems safest right now.
I don't think
you're trying to pick out a safe spot too, man. What's your spot? Let's start with that. Let's do the Uno reverse right back.
You want to start with, because we're going to ask a bigger question, but you want to just get into. So if I don't, you're going to get mad at me, but I know Palestinians who are Orthodox, so I tend to think about the things they taught me. My dad was a priest at an Orthodox church, an Antiochian church with a lot of Palestinians. They smoke hookah after church. You know how you go, well, you don't go to church, but you know how people go to church and then
I go to church.
What is your church? Like the Church of Music?
Episcopalian.
Are you actually attending?
No, I mean, I go for my mom on Mother's Day and Easter.
Let's not go down this road, but why don't you just go to your mom's house on those days? Why do you go to church?
Because it means something to her.
That you go?
Yeah. My picture's hanging in the basement. When I was a kid, I grew up
of
there.
The church?
Of the church, yeah. I was acolyte of the year 3 years in a row.
First of all, please tell me that wasn't actually a thing. I would just launch into a light people Protestant, just a rage if that was a thing, but it wasn't.
You know, there was I think it's a Simpsons thing where I forget the kid's next door. He's kind of dorky and he's playing with biblical cards and he's like, Joseph of Arimathea, 13 conversions. He's like,
that's funny. I always joke that my family, especially my mother, God rest her soul, that she would collect baseball cards, but they would be of priests and bishops. And she could tell you anything about like priests and bishops anywhere by like pulling out their baseball card. This is an Antiochian priest and just south of Decatur, Illinois. Good with sermons, not great pastorally. Hitting nearly 300 when it comes
like
to
a utility priest. There's a utility priest, not good at anything really, but he can come in any kind
when you need him. Got to go on a vacation with your wife and you're a priest? Call Father Stephen. Listen, that was a thing in my family. I don't want to go into that, but so you go to please your mother.
Yep.
This is a good thing.
Yeah, of course.
Use some of that attitude or ideology to answer. Well, I was going to answer the question about, what side? Geez, I shouldn't have agreed to this. I actually really think it's really simple that what happened in October is really evil and nasty.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
But I have to say, after listening to a number of really good arguments, my favorite one is what happened. Oh gosh, what happened 1830s? You know this story of Nat Turner.
Oh, right. Yeah,
he broke out. Broke out. He chopped us off a lot of heads.
Yeah, he did.
He hid in the woods and he was not very repentant. And he said, this is what I got to do.
And then good old John Brown, Bible in one hand, gun in the other.
If you do things in the fallen world, then things come back. It's just how they work.
I think, and I was just talking to somebody about this earlier today. Everybody's, and you did it right there. You said, you think it's evil, and what it is nobody should be using the but. Everybody should use the and, because there are multiple truths here, and everybody thinks you have to settle on one truth. And everybody thinks if you settle on another truth, it devalues the first truth, which I don't agree. Wow, listen,
you sounded downright orthodox, bro.
Is that right?
Well,
your evil plan's working.
It's weird because you should be able to live in the paradox. Yeah. There are all kinds of variations on truth, all the way down to the very lowest levels. So, yeah. Variations is the wrong word, maybe layers of. So, but why?
Listen, the truth is these are a people who
Palestinians.
No, I'm talking about the Jews.
These
are a people who a portion of the region, a solid portion of the region, does not think they should exist. Okay, so
hold on. Exist as
a state.
As a state, yeah.
Okay. These are also a people who are keeping other people subjugated. I think everybody can agree with that.
Agreed.
What?
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed. So those both are true, and if I had any answer,
but I'm interested in
on this podcast. I'd be on talking to Stephanopoulos or something.
Yeah, you'd be. Yeah, right. But you have the same answers. Okay, I have a kind of answer which I think you're going to.
Oh, before we go further, can I tell you a Jew joke?
Oh,
is that appropriate?
Why not?
Yeah, listen to this one. A Orthodox Jewish man has a daughter.
Hold on. I just heard YouTube checking in. Go ahead. Let's see how long we stay on.
Okay, right. This is we're already canceled. So Orthodox. This is a classic Jewish joke. Orthodox Jew lives in New York and has a daughter, and the daughter one day just surprises him and says, "I'm moving out to New Mexico, and I'm starting a life." And so they become estranged, and she's out there, and she calls him and said, "Dad, I've fell in love with a Native American, and we're getting married to a Native American." And now it's totally cut off. They're done. And then a year later, she says,
tore his shirt.
The year later, she calls and said, "We've had a son. I'd like to reconcile. We've had a son now. We even gave him a Jewish name. Please come out." And so he flies out, and at the airport, the daughter presents the grandson and says, "Dad, here's your grandson, Whitefish."
That's funny. By the way, I am belly laughing. I did not do a fake laugh. I was afraid. I thought my fear would stop me from laughing, but I didn't.
That's the beauty of saying I have a Jew joke. It's like,
oh Lord,
that's one of my favorites. My next favorite is, what you call a black guy who flies a plane? A pilot, you fucking racist. You could cut these, Andrew. You could cut these, dude. I don't know that's cancel. These are cancellations.
Just bleep it because it's hilarious. Your wife, she is Jewish.
She's Jewish.
How does that
She's
work?
Jewish. She's right. Jewish in the way Santos is Jewish.
the politician.
Oh my God, that guy is a wreck. He is a wreck.
He's a wreck.
All I can say
is, everything?
Thank God. Listen, this could have happened to anybody. Thank God it happened to Republicans. It's like
you hit on one right there. Your people were happy that guy.
Oh yeah.
After Jesse Smollett and stuff.
Right. We needed one.
You're like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
He tied his own noose.
I know.
That's not good. But that guy's crazy. Full on crazy. Go back to this though.
Okay, wait. So you didn't say.
Can I finish my answer?
Yeah.
I just think what you have is people in charge who have decided that the way to get this done is wiping stuff away, wiping a state away or wiping a people away. And these people have to go. The problem is I think that's the currency of our time. Everything is so rigidly black and white. Everything is, these are exactly the leaders we deserve. I mean, in terms of the worldwide.
These aren't, or they are?
They are.
They are. They're actually perfect representatives. That's why I said when Donald Trump won, everybody couldn't believe it. No, the system worked perfectly. He represents the people.
He represents who we've become.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah. But I would blame a lot of that on you.
Yeah, that's
like
weird.
Actually on Seth, because
that's weird.
You're like my best. Well, you're the closest person to me in a lot of ways in the world. I trust you. But you also say the things I think that have got us to this point. That's why you're on the pod. I love you for that. But go back one second. Can I say one more thing as a history guy? And you are too. It doesn't start in 1948. It doesn't start in 2000. It doesn't, in 1,000 years ago. But there's a problem with the origin story of modern day Zionist Israel. It's not going to work, man. It's just... I'm not saying there shouldn't be an Israeli state, but sort of. In reality, the people that put Israeli state there aren't even the religious Jews. It was a set of atheistic Jews.
Political,
Zionist Jews. So what do I think about them? I think like what I think about anybody who started any modern state. I think, way to go. Congratulations. You moved a lot of earth and people in order to get what you want. But I'm not that impressed.
I mean,
to be honest.
Yeah. Here's what I would say is that as somebody who has a Jewish wife and Hindus, Hindu.
Oh, you got Hindus in your family?
Yeah, two. My daughters are Hindus.
Oh, they're Hindus. You're right.
So I've got two Hindus. I would say that
I don't call my daughters blights, by the way, black and white. I don't
portmanteau. You can't come up. Yeah, they're two blights on my
two blights. I don't do that.
That's hilarious.
Hey guys, those are my daughters. They're blights. What? They're black and white? Yeah, I know. What do you think? Cool name. Anything else you want to tell me about yourself? Good.
That's good.
I got blights. But tell me about the Hindus. Tell me how you
I would say
this.
I would say this is that I would have said this even before I met Allison and had my daughters. I would say that this is a people who make up a sliver of a percentage in the world. And there is history is rife with pogroms. Yeah. Let's face it. And so, is it too much to ask that something is carved out for them? And I would say that, yeah. Now the problem is exactly right.
Carved. That's the problem. Yeah, usually with a knife.
Right.
And then
exactly.
Things get bloody.
Exactly. And they're born of Zionists. And that is not going to be good. I wish they could, just carve out a piece of land and I don't know, anywhere else. But they don't. The thing is,
going to be leftovers, man.
Here's the only thing.
Equation's not clean.
Here's the thing. A compromise is when both sides feel disappointed at the end. You both don't get something. So seriously, what they would have to do is carve it down the middle. You know what I mean?
What do you think? What do you make of this? The Jewish Constitution or the Israeli Constitution includes the idea that people identifying as Jewish have to be the majority of the voting population.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the Constitution.
Yeah, I know.
It's pretty wild, right?
Is that wild compared to what is being...
Merca?
Correct. Compared to what Christicans would advocate for?
So Christicans, if you're just tuning into this show, is probably one of the greatest words ever coined by a human. And I know that human.
Actually, it was beaten with blight.
You got to stop. Blight just overtook Christicans. Hey, are you in an interracial marriage between black and white?
There's my blights right over there.
That means you two can have children called blights. Listen, you need to know something. You carved out this word Christicans, which is in this show, Old World, New World. Why it's light people. In other words, it's modern people who also call themselves Christians, but mostly are just modern. And then Seth calls them Christicans, as in they're Americans and also identifying as Christian.
No, but it's more than that. They're wrapping up capitalism and Christianity, and using it like they'll cite scripture to back that shit up.
To back up some free market capitalism.
Give me a break, man.
You're not a fan of that?
No, I think it's ridiculous. And as an Orthodox, I don't know how you can stand it.
What's your favorite thing to pick on me about?
I know it's because it's easy pickings.
I know, but it's really different stuff. So just my final answer on this is, I don't know the answer. Obviously there's a lot of violence. Violence usually it means somebody is, I know this sounds really trite, but somebody is unloved. In other words, someone is not in the essence of what we are meant to be as created beings. We're meant to be loved and to love one another. And I don't want you to hear sentimentality there. I mean it in its truest form, like loving someone in their struggle. And someone's not being loved. And I'm starting with the Palestinians in that one.
I agree with that.
However, the Jews have plenty of arguments that the world hates them. So there's something going on. But I think it's going to lead to a war. So here's the question of this show for you.
Okay.
Again, this is my friend who claims to be rational or something like a new world. He's my friend. He's a light person in some ways. So if America jumps into a war, and a lot of people think it's gonna, and you're very handsome, 50 whatever years old you are. Can you say it now even? Are you
Sure. I'm 2 weeks away, or no, a month away actually. 55 double nickel.
Dude, double nickel. Looking pretty good for double nickel.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are.
I'm hanging
still
in.
playing music. Allison still finds you sexy, or that's probably done.
Well, that ended years ago. I mean, it's like,
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, that chapter. That's not.
We've closed that book.
This is like the super like post log. What's it called? What's the end of the book?
Epilogue.
The epilogue. This is like the triple log, the very, 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 very end. Well,
right, get to it.
55. If you were a hardy 25, same mindset though. You signing up to go fight in this world war that might break out as a
secular,
light, not God believing.
Hell no.
American
Hell
person?
No. Hell no.
Oh, you wouldn't.
No. In
Should
what war?
People?
I'm not signing up to fight into. Toward what end?
Well, let's just play it out to defend
Israel.
Let's say to defend Israel, and then let's say we're already in a war against Russia, and then China gets involved somehow, and basically China. Let's just do it. China, Russia, and Iran on some level are fighting against America and NATO. And by the way, very enlightened places where you go and are feeling very comfortable. Let's say you're not going to fight for that Western way of life. Come on, man. Why not? What are you, just afraid?
No. Yeah. Yes. Exactly. No,
that's fair. That's not the answer.
No, that's not my answer. But yeah, you're right. I'm afraid. I am not killing somebody. I am not killing anybody, unless I feel it's worth it. And if a government tells me they feel it's worth it, I don't give a shit. Do I feel it's worth it? Somebody's attacking my family. They're going down. You could, the Indian way. Well,
you could shoot a brother at that point.
I could shoot a brother at that point. But I'm not for what they've deemed some territorial dispute. They cannot. I won't find that worth it.
So, are there? Okay, so right now you don't see any angles where America would be worth defending.
In the present conflagrations?
Yeah, like as we stand right now. Which do your people, do your light people, New World atheistic types in Chicago even think we're heading toward a war, or what do they think? Like, really hope Joe Biden perks up. Like, what are their worries?
It is to the audience coming from the left, as far as you can get. It's hard to perk up a cadaver, and I'll say it right here.
It's tough.
It's tough.
They made a movie about it.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, wake up, man. Sorry, ask again.
So there is a country you belong to. I know that your father was Hindu, Indian, but you are American. You do benefit on some level. You wouldn't fight, given the scenario that's kind of coming into play. You wouldn't do
that. Well, it depends.
What happens? What about Chicago surrounded, but your house is safe? Are you going to go to the front lines of Chicago as, I don't know,
surrounded by who?
I know.
You know, that's the thing. You can't. Yeah, I know you can't. Because here's the whole thing: the situation. If here's the thing, if I knew that people were committing a Holocaust, that might be something I would spur in to kill somebody else. You know,
you're seeing it with your own eyes, or experiencing it in a way, and
coming to know enough that I do feel and understand what's happening. You know, and I think this was the problem in World War II, is that there were stories about this, but there were few people that knew, aside from the people that were in the towns there. you couldn't not know, you know.
They knew. Yeah.
Yeah,
you're
they
right.
knew. Oh, they knew. And I liked. Oh, so go ahead.
Okay, so the part, this is the really what I'm trying to dig at. This is why you're so good to be able to bring on, and people really like when you come on. Your mindset is not nationalistic. Is it familyalistic? Is it familial?
That's right.
Is
It's
that
yeah.
where you raise arms?
I think I find that what people find in nationalism, patriotism, uh, I find that in my family.
and that it's like a transcendent excitement or joy.
Well, listen,
or
what is nationalism? What is patriotism, except for a belonging? You know.
Okay, yeah, good.
So,
that's a great word. It's
yeah,
a belonging. You feel
belonging. And so, whereas, like, let's face it, you love sports teams.
I do.
That's that's you're wearing an A's hat, for God's sakes. What year is this? What's
I looked over
here?
and there was an A's hat over there.
Right, and
I
now you can't take it off because in the
they
middle
were really
of the,
bad.
In the
They
middle
were
of
really
the pod,
bad.
right?
Kind of matched my shirt. I just
Yeah.
went for it, dark green.
Yeah. This is
So the belonging drives you to protect those who belong to your family.
to my belonging. They
Do you think that's selfish on some level, or do you just not believe in the society grouping called nation or America?
I think what happens is as it gets further and further rippled, there's probably less. So, like, I'll go to battle for you. You know what I mean? Because you're in my next ripple.
Yeah.
Third ripple out is like, like a colleague or something, which I might not kill for them, but maybe I'll jack somebody for them. Fourth ripple out, it's getting thin. It's thin gruel out there. It's like, I'll just insult them. I'll insult them. But by the time I get to the national level, to be honest, I don't think I think that most people who feel patriotism here, this is going to piss off your audience 100%. I think that most people that feel patriotism in this country, it's contrived. 100, well, maybe not 100%, but a lot of it is contrived. And it's their belonging. They want to belong, but they don't. It's not real. They wave a flag and have no contribution to a country.
So who's in the military then?
I'll tell you.
Yeah, because I don't think an army of Seths is out there. Like, I think a lot of people agree with you in your world, right?
I don't know. I think that you mean like the light people?
Yeah, like, okay, just take the staff you work with.
Yeah.
Put them all in a room, and I'll ask the same question. Would you ever go to fight for this country we called America right now if you were of age and you could do it and you were hardy enough and we were being attacked?
Yeah, most people would say what I said, is that it depends. I mean, do most people on your side say, sign me up?
Well, so let's talk about, quote, my side for a second. This pod is not that big, but the people it's getting bigger and people love to talk about this stuff. And I love talking about it with them. I'm not insulting anybody because we're small, but I'll say this. Most of them are Orthodox in some way, Orthodox Christians. And I don't think they're signing up in big numbers. I think the people that I know and that I talk to when I travel and throw these dinners and stuff, they think a little along the lines that you do, in that the ripple going out, it doesn't go deep enough. And they actually think parts of this country are at odds with them and attacking them. And in some ways, I would say they're as likely as you to fight, maybe less so. So they're not very likely to fight.
Well, I sent you that thing where there was a picture of an Orthodox priest blessing these Russian soldiers as they went off.
Yeah, you did.
I sent that to you. And where I found that grotesque.
That irritated you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You found it some sort edifying.
It was gorgeous.
Or something. Yeah, that's right. I knew it.
Well, don't you remember why though? See, I didn't even.
No.
Here's the thing.
I did.
This is really a microcosm, guys. Don't ever try to convert people. It doesn't work. This is years.
Just wait. After how long have I known you? Just in this cast, you said you're starting to sound orthodox.
I know.
Well, I told you this is
like
it's a long game. Yeah, you got a long game.
It's a long game. All right. Well. All right.
But why?
Because so the world's like a furnace, right? And if you really and your Hindu folks, they know it's like a furnace because that's how the world ends. It ends in a pyre. And here's the thing. The furnace, it pushes people in. I just interviewed this guy, Father McCarthy, who's a Catholic. He was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize because he is a staunch Christian, nonviolent. He won't call himself pacifist, and he took me on a little. We didn't have an argument.
Why won't he call himself pacifist?
He says that word has been tainted. It implies weakness, when in fact nonviolence is an action.
Yeah,
it's standing in front of evil, but not raising a gun to evil or a knife or violence.
It's easy to fight back. Easier to fight back.
So on so many grounds, I agreed with him. But one of the things I was trying to say, and I'll say it to you too, is the world is a furnace. And by the way, it's got like tongs, and it's throwing you constantly toward a lot of evil stuff. And there are times when people, they don't have a lot of choices. And you could argue this about Gaza. And what they're trying to do is not enter into the most obvious evil, which is going and shooting somebody in the face. Like, it's pretty hard to get out of that situation and shoot someone in the face, no matter who they are, and feel good about that. It's like a really dirty, oily thing.
Yeah.
Dark, sad thing. And so most people are trying to get out of that situation. But if you look at Russia in that picture you showed me, if you look at these various countries and nationalities and princes and kings, they forced people into there with very few choices. And here's what the priest is saying when he blesses it. He's not like, Russia's number one, go kill bad people. There may be some priests who said that, but the church's teaching is son, you are in a furnace. Life is hard, and the things you're about to do will definitely destroy you on some level. This is to bless you from a total destruction, that you might not lose your soul in this furnace. Come back, and then come back to the church. But this is a blessing that you might. So I don't have any problem with that.
That's
I don't have
less
any problem
objectionable. That's less objectionable.
That's the teaching. Now hold on. That's the teaching. What happens is the czars and Putin and
they
presidents,
twist these guys.
They twist it, and they have to get people in order to identify.
Yeah, but I think that some of these priests are complicit in. Would you agree? I mean, just in sort of the propaganda of it. They know what the message being sent is, even if they're doing the right thing. They're living in a political world, so they know what the optics are.
I know, but you would never. I agree. There are priests who are complicit, but this is really important. There are teachers in your school who are complicit in shit education, and their idea of a good day is there was a vacation, and so they got to go home early, and their kids, they had got a fire alarm, and now they get to stay in the house, stay in a room and watch YouTube. Here's what I'm trying to say: is they're in there, they're in there, and their idea of education is crap, but that doesn't mean education as an idea is crap. Then just, it doesn't mean the church is crap.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
So that's the way I would look at that. You might be right. The teaching about education and the teaching about Christ is beautiful. And that's what I just tried to relay to you, but you still won't do orthodoxy. So here's another question. Do you think atheists should fight for anything?
Yeah.
What?
You mean it?
Other than your family, I get it.
No,
That's
but
also, by the way, not a very scientific reason to fight your family, because you feel
it's the most scientific. That's
you
the
feel
most
like you belong.
No, that's DNA. It's not feeling, buddy. That's DNA.
Oh, so this is like Jordan Peterson's lobsters. Like, it's just, you can't help it. It's just coming out at you.
Is that what he says?
Well, he loves to try to explain human behavior by talking about lobsters. Like, it's like in the blood.
Okay. He's coming back in my book for something like that. He
I
lost.
know you probably
he
don't
lost
like
me at
Peterson.
No, I don't. I think he's extremely well thought out, intelligent, makes very good points. To be honest, people lose me. You haven't lost me yet, but you almost have. And this is another thing that's going to put your audience off. When you believe in Jesus Christ and the mystical Jesus,
Yes,
out
resurrected
there,
from the dead.
yes, correct. It really sort of makes me question your intelligence.
Because it's not just possible, that kind of thing.
Just because it's not probable.
Yeah. Okay. But it wasn't probable that you'd be a good father, but it turned out okay. See what I did there?
Not really even.
Dude, look
I see
at
what
you.
you tried to do.
Come on, you're like some pot smoking Northern Illinois guy. You're like, hey, dude, I play guitar. Then you're like a dad, and then what? He's good at it. What?
No, actually, there's science there too. My parents were good parents, so I became a good parent.
So
So
it's the resurrection part that just seems highly improbable. So you're like, give that up.
Listen, it's not the resurrection part. It's everything that resurrection means to you is the problem for me.
Oh,
what?
Wow, man. It's literally the opposite. It's literally the opposite for me. Everything it means, don't make me.
No,
oh, gosh.
I'll tell you, because you've told me before. That's the difference.
How beautiful
we know
is the
that.
story? Like, how could you reject the story?
No, it's a story of a woman who is a virgin getting impregnated by God.
It's amazing.
And then we lose track for 33
years. That
years.
impregnated by God thing's just, but we got to revisit that in the future. But that's not a great way to explain it. But yeah,
wait a minute. Is the language? That's what it is.
Well,
she became pregnant, impregnated, and it was God. So
yes,
listen, we're going to get bogged
God
down.
used.
Let's not get bogged.
God condescended and asked this woman to participate in divine creation. Yes. Okay.
Fine.
Go ahead.
Fine.
I just don't like the other phraseology.
Excuse me. And then we lose track of him for 33 years. Then he turns up.
Who lost track of him? You mean the Bible doesn't say much?
Yeah.
Well, so he was around.
Oh my God.
What do you need, a book? You light people love books. Like, it's right there in that book that someone wrote and probably could have been making up. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, let's face it.
But that's your books too.
Every written word is a word of fiction. There's no such thing as
yes, especially for a nihilist called Seth Rahman. But that's why, I don't know why you're so mad at the Bible. It's probably made up.
No,
every history book you've ever read, you're just taking it on faith.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I know you are.
Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying is that that the fact that you've got this story, okay, and then he performs some miracles, and he has a good message that everybody had that message before. Everybody lived by it before. We said in another podcast that, the reason people, before we got the commandments, everybody didn't think it was okay to murder people. You know what I mean? Like you're saying they were divinely inspired. There's a universal, innate understanding of the commandments. Yeah. So
they were always there. Yes.
Okay.
They were always there in creation. Yeah.
Okay. Because of God.
Well, because that which created all things entered into all things, including
God,
including you.
Yeah. Okay. God.
Yeah.
So then we flash forward.
What's
nothing?
So weird
no,
about that?
No, nothing. I'm just trying to flash forward. Now we're up to Jesus, and his message is also, I should turn the other cheek. I didn't know that. Be kind to the less fortunate. I didn't know that. I shouldn't cast stones. I didn't know that.
I hear being the people surrounding him,
What?
or him. Who's the?
No,
who's the
I'm saying
I didn't know that.
I'm saying
Christ knew
that
that.
people, that society didn't know.
I
that,
see. They're reacting to him with
they're
like
reacting,
awe and like what?
And this message that has been around in multiple religions over time but you think they finally, this was leading to this one that was the right one, and
no,
and now, because it's the resurrection means to you that you have to now not only live your life in a way, but change lives for others that don't believe in that.
Well, okay. Well, hold on. Two things. One is for myself. Yeah, Christ is calling my being, the created order. Me, I'm part of the created order. He's calling me toward what I've always been. He's calling me toward the perfection that is the creation. In other words, if God is good, then I am good, and I'm being called to be good. So hold on. I believe that consciously I entered baptism so that I might begin this path. But hold on. That second part, this part where you say I have to go get other people to believe that, that's been, that kind of missionary work that you're describing has been corrupted a little bit. I'm supposed to be a missionary because I follow closely and carefully the things that I need to do in order to become like Christ. That resonates with you or others or whoever I'm trying to supposedly convert. This conversion thing that you're describing is the rational light people attempt to make Christianity into an observable scientific experiment where I say, I say the right things, I get the right results.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. For anybody that's listening to this podcast for the first time, usually once, not every podcast, but one every two podcasts, he's always going to blame the failings of Christianity on the
heretics.
Yes,
correct.
Every time.
Well, why would
I can set my clock to that, and also there's a Stalin reference coming, people.
I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to throw Stalin under the bus. But hold on. Okay, let's just do this for a second. This means the way that you are cynical about the idea that certain teachings throw people off the scent, that's really normal in almost every discipline. So right now, the art of diplomacy, right? You could just say diplomacy doesn't work. Look at what's happening. But diplomacy, talking to your enemy is probably a good thing.
Yeah, the application is
right. But people destroy the good thing by acting cynically. So
right.
The thing you're describing, Christianity, Christ risen from the dead, that thing has beauty, whether or not everybody is attending to it or not. It has its own inherent beauty. And I would call you proof of that beauty, because you sit there alive, your little eyes dancing with wisdom. And even though your brain tells you don't believe, your actual existence tells me God is here. So I don't buy your cynicism, man.
No, this is just
your cynicism is the outcome of your people's revolution called the Enlightenment. Everything is cynical because of your people.
I thought we were going to talk about something lighthearted, like war.
Like war. All right, I got another topic, but
okay.
Can you just help me with one thing before we just go to this other topic? This is important for me. Hold on. I'm looking at my other topics here. This one is important for me. All right. So what are you going to do about this idea that America, if it becomes more and more secularized, in other words, let's say that more and more people believe in something like the transcendent. Let's just call it Jesus. I don't care, but it's not going to happen, but let's call it that. Let's call the move away from God happens at a high rate and continues to happen. How does America ever fight a war? Like, who's going to war? I don't get it. It seems like all the Jesus people will fight, but the other people won't fight. What are you guys going to do about that? You atheist types.
Well, I think maybe it'll be commensurate with the other side rate of attrition. So they have just as many, you see actually all across the world. So the numbers say the same.
Oh, so is the hope that
as the world, the world,
more and more,
that's right.
Then it becomes less
and let's
and less
be honest.
violent or
let's
something?
be honest. What's going to be the last country on earth to give up on God? Let's be honest.
I'd love to hear this. What's the last country?
Give up on God as an excuse for going to war. Just patriotism. The Americans are going to be the last country. This is part of our...
No way.
Oh, yeah. This is part of our credo.
Really?
I think so. It's like you just said, the God people are the ones that are going to go to war.
I think the God people go to war because the high thing.
I mean, let's look at anybody in Europe. They have a lower rate of belief than the United States, right? Okay, so right off the bat, they're not going to have more people rushing off to war. If your hypothesis is correct. Okay.
Hypothesis.
Canada, no hope. South America, no. Africa, no.
You mean no, they won't go to war?
Yeah,
no, they won't win.
No, they won't go to war because they're going to have less. If your hypothesis is correct, they're going to have less people believing in God, and they have a faster. Wait. That's what you were saying, right? People.
How do you see the trends? Okay, let's start this. I see where you're going. Let me ask a different question to help clarify for people who are still listening. Here we go.
Sorry,
you ready? Do you think the trends are such that the whole world is becoming more and more secular and atheistic?
Yes.
Okay. Does that mean for you that the whole world will become less and less likely to kill each other?
No, I'm saying that's your hypothesis.
Well, what do you think?
That's probably true. I would say it's probably true.
So toward secularism, we won't even call it atheism, toward a sort of a neutrality space, creates less and less war. You don't seem comfortable.
No, I'd have to think about it some more.
Well, what tames the human heart from going out and destroying another human? Like, do you think there's something about secularism or atheism that does that?
You think God does that? That's what you're saying?
Okay. Not only do I think that,
it is it.
If you just
you always do these.
If you just spend 11 minutes with any any spiritual tradition,
I know because you think we're all these wilding nihilists. You said it.
No.
You think I'm just going to go out and...
I don't know. What I'm trying to say to you is there is a human heart. It is untamed in this fallen world whenever it's poked. In other words, whenever it's provoked, the human heart, void of Christ, I would say, void of that inclination to love your neighbor, that heart will react bloodily and angrily. Okay. And it's very normal. Hold on. Let me just finish. And the whole point of acquiring the peace of the Holy Spirit I'm not afraid to just throw in other traditions, but I got to watch out. Whatever that peace is, I think it's found within this tradition called Orthodoxy. Whatever that peace is, it may not work on you, but it's because you rejected it, not because it doesn't have the answer. And so, dude, the world's going to become...
Listen, I think
the 20th century was bad.
I know, I agree with you. The heart is missing something. You called it Christ, but there is something missing. I would say it's
reason.
It's I don't know what it is. It's something that makes you feel. You think that's something that makes you feel like you have to.
No, forget feeling. Hold on, just go back. I cut you off. There's something missing, and you think that something missing is. What is it? I want to hear this.
I don't know what it is.
Okay, fair. But there's something missing.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's something missing where you're somebody who is not is acting out of I don't want to say the
Anger.
no. I out of the norm, that far out of the norm, maybe. I don't know.
Is the norm in human history when shamed, beaten, right, manipulated, controlled, when that happens, the norm for a human animal is to kick some ass, right?
Yes.
Okay. I would argue the norm for a human animal, because it's a human divine, the norm is to love your neighbor. The problem is we're teaching the abnormal over and over again.
Yeah, that'd be fine with me, whether you want to call it.
Really?
No, I would say that, yeah, people, I think the conditioning is what makes you somebody who understands that in society, you can't go around wilding.
And you think society like controls people so that they wild less?
Yeah.
And
you think
that's Thomas Hobbes, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
I get it. It's
that's
the
right.
Leviathan. And so you, at that point, you're going to move toward autocratic systems. You're going to move toward powerful governments that keep people in line, right?
Hey, people, T minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Communism. Gulag.
Solzhenitsyn.
That's where you're heading right now. That's right. You're going to get boxed in. I know. I don't understand why you think that atheism offers any hope to anyone. It doesn't. Yeah, man.
But why? I don't understand why you think getting your hope through in that way is what everybody's supposed to do.
Well, hold on. I don't think you're supposed. Hold on. Suppose and should. Let me do it a different way. I think that there's something about the Christ's inbreaking into this thing we call the world that offers health in the same way a hospital does. So should you go to the hospital? I don't think it's that kind of question. I think you should go where there's healing. And I don't know why you don't see it that way. You get like put off because someone's trying to make you believe in Jesus or something. Like you get pissed about that or something. First of all, why do you get so pissed about that? Someone's trying to sell you a Snickers bar every day on TV. You go, wish these guys would stop trying to sell me a Snickers bar.
Because
like, why you get so pissed that everyone's in your grill?
Listen, because you're willfully ignorant. You're playing dumb. He's playing dumb, people. He's playing dumb. Because
of the past? Because of the way people act?
Why do you think people aren't down with this and are put off by religion and everything it's done in society? Why do you think? You tell the audience that.
Yeah. So this is a very good Seth maneuver, which is if it's so good, when it's offered to supposed humans, why don't they eat it up like candy?
It should sell itself, ladies and gentlemen. It should sell itself. Yeah. I know you have to. It's so tortured, man. Maybe because of Jesus.
Well, I have an answer, and then I want to ask you about sanctuary cities.
Okay. Great.
I would just say this. There's an eternal battle going on, and it's all iconized, it's imaged in the stories of the Orthodox tradition. And that eternal battle is whether I'll be my own God or whether I'll obey the one that created me. And it's just inherent in the creations. I'm not the creator, I'm the creation. It's inherent in the creature's existence. Just like your daughters have to decide to what degree they're going to obey you or to what degree they're going to live on their own. And so it's inherent in the creature to wonder. God's not angry about that, but he offers health in obedience. The obedience creates health. So,
I just discovered something.
Oh, no.
It's whenever...
In your beer? The answer's in your beer.
Whenever you're doing these things,
What the hell's it? I'm not doing a thing.
Yeah, you're doing a bit. You're doing a bit. A God bit. Like one of these little things.
I want to hear this.
I'm always with you halfway through.
Until the Jesus part.
Yeah, but not because you're saying the word Jesus, just because then you turn this sensible thing into, but you think it's so crazy that if I'm talking about a relationship and I would just be saying the same things you were, and then I'd say, and then a chemical right. firing happened, and that's love, and then except that you'll say it's Jesus, right? But you think saying Jesus, I mean, they're both as, I don't think they're both, I think it's false equivalency. But what I'm saying is that you're using that for
there's some
mechanism, and you're saying you're calling it Jesus, and I'm calling it reaction.
Yeah, the triune
reaction,
God.
Right?
Okay,
whatever.
You're calling it, but you're calling it like.
See, already, look at this. People,
like
you should see his disdain on his face.
You're calling it an imperative.
Revolted.
I am, because it's kind of
okay.
It's kind of
okay.
Dude,
okay.
You're on the losing end of this, because even your atheistic pals have turned into postmodern crazy people. They can't believe what you say anymore. They can tell that there is no biological imperative in their mind through the molecules. Yeah, they're not even believing this Dawkins conversation about how my body has to move toward these things because of evolutionary models. They don't even your own atheists don't believe this anymore. They're just like, you know what the world is? A giant roiling effing mess. And you know what we're all doing in it? It's a furnace. Yeah, it's a furnace. And which, by the way, they're right about. And then the next answer is which is stupid, which is, so therefore, it's going to do whatever I want to do. That's the postmodern moronic
That's
move.
what you're saying. And that's how you tar people. You say, again.
Or you suddenly feel hurt.
I am hurt. Unfairly malign people. It's like.
Stop saying that about them. They do not say that. Come on, man.
No, because you just said, then we do this. Yeah, go ahead. Let's get back to where we were.
Okay. I liked where we were going.
Well,
right there.
I thought we were going to talk about war. This has been the podcast where there's no. Oh, and I thought you were talking about sanctuary cities.
Well, our last topic was sanctuaries. Let's just do this. As you know, you study history. The Roman Empire. One of the reasons it supposedly ended, if you believe the people who wrote words.
You mean the fiction?
Unless you just want to tear all that up and just make it up and go, well, it was the Romans. They were being infected by the gold plate they were wearing. I don't know. You just make some stuff up. I'm cool. But if you believe the words, then one of the reasons they collapsed was because of the barbarians that kept creeping into their world. And I wonder about sanctuary cities, and you wonder about them too. Places where the barbarians, quote, the barbarian. I don't believe that about people who are coming to this country, but I'm trying to tie it to history. The barbarians need a place to go.
Yeah, but barbarians in the when you use a word like barbarians, they don't need a place to go. They are going to a place. They're taking. They're
America.
They're conquering. Barbarians conquer.
Hold on. Okay, well, one of the reasons Rome fell, according to those who said it, people like Gibbon, the non-Roman citizens became too powerful on the edges, and also they ended up being powerful within the empire. And the Republicans in this country make that argument, and you don't.
No. First of all, they don't make that argument. They make the argument that different is bad. You made the argument
that barbarians are bad.
That's right. That's right.
By the way, I didn't, but I will if you want me to. I think barbarians are great. Remember, I have blights.
Yeah, I know. Well, listen.
You're so mad. You're like, I did not invent that word. Now I'm going to get canceled. So do you think there should, are you like proud of places where super woke people call themselves sanctuaries? Do you like that idea?
I like the idea of, as much as we can, not dividing ourselves by some arbitrary latitude. And so, like, that's why I don't even have any favorite sports team. You know?
Yeah.
What was that? George Bernard Shaw said, patriotism is the veneration of real estate over reason, or something like that. Yeah, you know, you know what I mean? And so, like, why is a life in India worth less or more than mine?
In other words, the borderline.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying is that
the edges
that's right.
don't matter as much.
I think that exactly the edges don't matter that much to me. There is always going to be, and then over time, yeah, of course, there's more people coming here than is going this way, but that's a historical.
See, I believe that about you. It's one of the things that makes you one of my dearest friends. Is you can, I know you can make friends with the most bearded, crazy ortho bro that I know. I know you would. Now, I don't know if you would try to go hang out at his house on a weekend on your own, but I think you can. So let me ask you then what is it about you that's not them? Is there anything about you that you would want to not be tainted or to not be united with, quote, the other? Or is everything kind of like...
Say it a different way.
I'll say it again. I'll use your daughters as an example. Sorry, don't get mad. If your daughters marry ortho bros, bearded guys who want long skirts and expect them to be very, very timid among men, let's say. And I don't, that's not very many people in my faith, but if that happens, what do you say about that?
I say, first of all, I can't believe it's happening, you know. And again,
it's a rare thing, but there are people with,
I know
by
this.
The way, in all traditions that have
certain
ideas about how women should relate to men. I have some of them too.
I wanted my daughters to have some religious upbringing, you know, but that got kiboshed.
No, I'm asking a different question. That they're acquiring a habit. My wife actually talks about this, and she would be proud of me. She actually married me in part because she said this. I needed to learn. She thought she would never marry. She was a very tough single woman growing up in New York City. She did not care about a man. She was going to have as many kids as she wanted without a husband. But then she said, one of the reasons I got married is I wanted to learn how to be obedient.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Yeah. So if a guy says, I will teach you to be obedient as you should in a proper marriage, would you get bummed out that you'd lost the contours of the Raman household because now your daughter has entered into this relationship, even if it was with a traditional Hindu or something? Are you bumming out?
Yeah, I don't know,
because she's your deepest, most profound, one of your most profound relationships with your daughters.
Of course. So. Yeah, I would just say that I think it's limiting. I don't think anything is gained out of that. There is something to be gained out of obedience for sure, but I don't think it's equal to what is to be gained by not being obedient.
Okay, and so you would lose something, but would you try to stop it? Would you go to that wedding?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, you would?
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna. Believe me, I'll sulk during the relationship.
That's hot.
When he comes over for like Thanksgiving and stuff, I'm silent.
So you would just be like, your dad hates me, and then your daughter.
She'd be like,
Ava would be like, yeah, a lot.
no, she'd be like, no, he doesn't. And then Camille would say, yeah, he does.
Camille would be, so let me let you in on something. He hates you. You know what? I think that's a fair comparison. Because what I'm trying to get at is the dearest things. How does one protect the dearest things if everything is to be united? And that's what I'm worried about America. There's a move toward believe that everything can be incorporated, but it just means this is the end of America. I don't really care. I'm probably like you, not picking up guns for this particular version of America. I don't know how to explain it to you.
I mean,
of course, Jim Crow America is probably not at the top of my pick up the gun list.
Where are you finding your spot? Where's like War of 1812? Something impressment.
Right?
Listen, he could give about slavery, but let them impress.
But impressing sailors,
no
I'll kill
not
you.
on his watch.
Barbary pirates, you're a dead man. I don't know what. Are we just not picking up guns for America ever? Oh my gosh! Half of my friends are like, "What's wrong with that guy?"
You're the same as me, man. You know it. You're not gonna. You are not going to go and kill somebody unless there's no higher.
There is,
even for you.
But this is
what
we're talking about.
Is
with Father
God
McCarthy.
telling you to go to war?
This is what we're talking about with the Catholic priest. I told you, Father McCarthy. He just said like this: the highest form of resistance is to be martyred. And I said, but not even to jump in front of and maybe take violence against somebody who's trying to attack your wife. And he said, no, there's a higher form of goodness, and that is to be martyred. And I don't go there. I don't want to go rehash all that. You can go look at that podcast, but dude, we better find something to fight for. It's not a great thing. So I'm just going to tell you, it would be my parish. For instance, I was ready to get arrested during the pandemic because I was just going to go to that church. And there was a point where at our parish, anyway, the Rocor parish, there was a point where we were doing things and the local police were not that happy about it. And there was talk of them coming around to shut it down. I was ready to roll.
Awesome. Get some billy clubs. It'd be like a convention.
Helen and I were ready to stand there and get arrested. So so maybe that's it.
No, now, but I'm saying is that
would I gouge the policeman in the eye?
That's what I'm saying is that everybody has their ripple of what they're willing to. You're going to protect the inner sanctum first and foremost, you know.
But if it's too small of a ripple, if everyone has the same basic, very small circumference ripple, then how does a nation exist?
Because again, every other nation's populace's ripple is diminishing too. This is the march of evolution.
Man, I hope you're right.
You're seeing it. You
that
think
would
there's
include the Chinese?
you think that like it's a very limiting idea of God that you think that these demons can be placed in like one country but not the other or some kind of
I'm disagreeing with that. No, I don't talk like
but
that.
But what I'm saying is I know you talk about demons.
Demons are real. Well, I've had that argument.
That's what I was.
That was something used to make fun of me.
Do you hear? He just said,
"If you don't think demons exist, you'd be like, oh, here you go."
And then but you hear it, everybody. He just said, "Listen, I'm not somebody who talks about demons." And I said,
"Well, then,
demons are real."
Yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is they're forged. Demons are forged in human beings who are relentless.
No, I know you're just
in their egotism.
Yeah, I know your word for demon. That's right. Your word for demon, again, is something that I would just call human nature. Is that
okay? So then here's a question for you. This is for everyone to hear. Everyone listen to this. Because in every story ever told, there's always a type of darkness and a type of lightness. Uncle Seth, here's my question. In the story of life, of your life, is there a bad that's not a good? Do you have a high and a low, or is everything sort of equally not evil?
No.
If it's a human nature
funny.
is what's evil, then are we just all just variations of just bad and dead and awful? Like, where's the good in the how do you tell a story? What do you tell your kids when you guys go to bed?
You love this.
Like,
what you love this one.
Them? Like,
he loves another one.
Here's what victory looks like in your life. Okay, just let's go to bed. Good night. Like, you don't even have one to tell. Like, guys, when the lights go off, it's not darkness like when you go to the grave. It's exactly the same. So good night. Like, what do you do? What do you say?
Listen, man, just
Who's
to come up
heroes?
with some bedtime story. I'm not going to change the trajectory of my life and my work and my passion so that I can tell my kids a bedtime story. There's the difference.
Well, then
or tell myself a bedtime story. And that's
how
what
do they know what's
that's
good?
what you do. How do they know what's good?
Just like do what dad does.
They and also.
Oh, you're like a little guy.
No. Wait, I was about to say. Also, I have the my DNA evidence, which I'm going back to. Yeah, which I'm going back to. I mean,
what did people do like 100 years ago when they didn't have DNA? I have my DNA evidence. Oh no, I don't have.
Wait
any
a minute.
Of that. What did they
Give me a break, man. Your daughter's is a world famous singer because she has genetic
she inherited
that's right.
something like
absolutely
a barrel chest. By the way, I did give her a barrel chest.
There you go.
Which allows her to breathe.
I believe that. I've always remarked on the barrels in your chest. So what I'm saying is you're willing to believe. Are you willing to believe that? Which you should. Okay.
Yes.
So why is it so hard to believe that? Other traits would be passed down.
Okay. I see what you're going. And so there again, but remember my question is there's no really like highs and there's no really like heroes and villains. So hold on. So the things that are good in her life are just the things that she's inherited, which is everything on some level.
No, I mean,
does she also inherit, like, say, your inclination to just smoke pot and hang out?
Of course.
Is that? But that's good because she inherited it.
No, I'm not saying.
By the way, this is not I'm not saying anything bad about pot.
I'm not.
Just about you.
Well, okay, good. Don't insult pot, man.
Hey, man, keep pot out of this. Hey, buddy, don't be throwing pot under the Seth Ramen bus. No, I'm fooling with you, but like for real, like how does she? I just think you're heading toward a world where there's no good or bad. There's just living your life, make yourself happy, man.
These guys, you know what? You guys, that's another thing what you guys do. I know. Here's another thing what you guys do. You do something I like, which are thought experiments, but you do them in for ridiculous ways.
Like to find out if you're just going to like go on an atheistic
right.
tear.
I better do that. What happens if I don't do this? Instead of talking about, I mean, you talk about grand things too, and the Orthodox do as well, and I like the Jesuits too,
Yeah, you feel like you might like
the
Jesuits.
Yeah, I do. But then when you start going on these thought experiments that just are kind of
too rational.
No, not too rational. Too kind of silly in a way,
Why? Because my reasonable worries about what's good or bad don't really play a important role in your life.
Because it can be explained more easily without bringing in the hocus pocus.
That was a good choice of words because that's what they used to call it, communion.
Did they?
Hocus pocus. So hocus pocus comes from one of the Visigoths, I think.
Oh.
One of their words for the communion. You know, like God is present in the bread, and they would call it. Oh, I don't go to the hocus pocus.
Oh, all right, good. Nice to have that. Thing. Nice to have that. But that's what it feels like, you know, and so.
So you're saying that all of the life that a Christian claims is possible for let's just call you an atheist. I think you are. It's all possible without the hocus pocus, without the magic and the spirituality.
Correct. And I know that because those of us that aren't on that journey are going through the same types of inner calculation, inner analysis. But what happens is the problem is that you guys aren't even happy with that. What you want to do is say that we are wrong.
Okay, can I, dude, that was well said. Can I just say one thing about that?
Yeah.
I do think you go through the same things. I do think we experience life with the same ups and downs. I do believe that you're whole in the same way I'm whole, and you're broken in the same way I'm broken. Your life experiences are just like mine, but here's what I'm trying to say. You can do good, but what you can't do is rationalize. There is no way for you to call it good. You can do it, but you can't call it good because you have no high thing.
Of course I can call it good. Because
it won't make sense.
No, it will, because as you well know, good is relative and it changes, just in the same way. Who were those girls that raped a lot, and all of a sudden that was fine then? But listen, we were talking about the terrorists earlier, and you wrote that article about what's the difference between Muhammad Atta and Samson.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So things are relative; they're changing. So if you think, and the one you say, but there are certain goods that are universal, and it always comes to Jesus's love or some kind of. That's the universal I was supposed to know.
No, you mangled that, but go ahead.
Well, isn't that the gist of it?
No, okay, yeah, but go ahead. You're saying that universal doesn't have to be known as a universal?
I'm just saying that.
Do you think there's a universal?
No, because
I don't think you do.
No, I actually
think. Hold on, I don't think you do. I don't think you think there is, but you act as if there is.
I act as if there is in your estimation of how somebody should act. If they're touched by God, you think God's in me. I know you do.
Well, yeah. Well, of course. What are you talking about? God's in you.
Okay, fine.
God is anime. God is life. That's why.
Okay, right. But what I'm saying
you're alive because God is in you.
Yeah. You can see you can see how behind the eight ball your regular secularist is that all the things that go wrong are because we don't believe in God, and all the things that go right are because God is in us. God, and He makes us do the right thing. It's like there's no winning.
Kind of. Let me put it a different way, and I want to hear what you say, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay.
Sorry again. I feel I want to.
Why? Why do you feel bad? This is good.
But I thought we were going to talk about something
like sanctuary cities.
Yeah, sanctuary cities or something, and then it usually goes right down to God. It always comes back to God.
Well, I didn't bring you on here because you're an Israeli war vet. It's not like you're just in Mossad 2 weeks ago.
Krav Maga. I will be also giving.
He's like, I fought for Haganah. I was like, come on, man. you don't have to be a war expert. I want to find out what war is to you vis-a-vis your world vision, your world view. But hold on, just 1 second. I think every time you don't understand, and then I want to hear what you say, and then we'll stop. What you're calling religion is not what I'm calling religion. Religion is just the application of health. So here's what I'm trying to say to you is we're experiencing the same things. You have the ups and the downs that I have the ups and the downs. Your daughters are doing what your daughters do. My daughters do what I do. And then we kvetch about them. See what I did there? And then here's what I'm trying to say is the thing that I've learned about Orthodox Christianity is that it is medicine for what ails me. Now, you don't want that or need that medicine. Hold on. I totally get it. It's 100%. You heal. I don't know how you heal, but you're here in this world and you're not dark and pissed and hating and angry and meaningless. You have something that's healing you. But the reason you can be healed, now just hear me out, is because you recognize you're sick. So there's a high and a low. There's a bad and a good. And you're operating that way. And all I'm telling you is the medicine that I have acquired through serendipity called orthodoxy that I've been given through God. I'm just saying it's good medicine. And you're like, I don't need it. And then I try to make sense of what you're doing, and I can't figure out what the medicine is. So I'm like, hey, try this. It's like taking you to a movie, bro. Like, you should see this movie. It's really good. And you're like, I don't want to see your movie. I got movies. So here's a little medicine. And then you go like, oh, I don't see why you got Jesus. You don't need no Jesus. And I'm like, but there's some medicine.
I know.
What's wrong with that?
Because
can you respond
to that? Exactly right. You said, I'm doing well, and you don't know what it is. But you're trying to force feed people medicine. And here's how you force feed us. Let's be honest.
I want to hear this. Let's hear this.
You force feed us by being in a world where everybody believes like you do. Not exactly in the same way, but you want to, I've said this a million times, and I'm sorry to be a broken record on here.
I don't think you are.
No, well, wait till you hear what I say. It's going to be the same thing. Oh. You've heard that one.
This is where AI kicks in.
And this time it's not the embryos in the abortion clinic igloo.
Oh, so, by the way, that was our last talk in the AI and abortion. We went straight A's, big A's on that. Yeah, it was terrifying.
Where was I going with this now?
You were saying that that we try to force it on you, which is absurd.
Well, listen,
like 3% Orthodox Christians
in
the whole country.
See, again, because you're trying to. I'm talking about religionists.
Oh, okay. People who, I don't know, think there's a divine spirit or something.
Why do you dismiss
religionists? Terrible category, but go ahead.
So
that makes me in like the Benai folks or like suddenly I'm with the Manichaeans, like the 8 Manichaeans left in Syria. Like, how is that even relevant category? But go ahead.
Old school faith reference alert.
I know. When all the diviners get together and piss you off.
I'm just saying this. Ahead. Like, again, and it harkens back to what we were talking about with the Jewish state. Secularists are the Jews of the planet, of history.
You might be onto something.
Let's think about this.
History for sure. Yeah, this is good.
We should flesh this one out because this could be a good one. Put upon, misunderstood. Put upon. We're put upon and misunderstood.
Exactly.
You know,
you're just trying to go around the sun instead of the sun around the earth. Art Automata, next time you come, and you really will come to Chippewa Falls for our dinner, right? In concert.
Yes.
Okay.
If anybody's in Chicago early December, look me up.
I'll see you soon. And will you really please give me an update on the girls and tell them I said hello? I have that. Tell them I'm the guy with the A's hat. For a hole.
Right. Who's the dork in the A's? Who's the dork in the a-hole hat? All right, cool. I'll catch you on the flip side, man.
Much love. I thank you for this, man. It's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate it. Well, there's a thing that happens when Uncle Seth comes on. About 50% of you slap your face like that emoji. About 20% of you can't wait. And then there's the 30% that thinks Seth's going to become Christian. Now, I personally don't care if he becomes Christian in that way. I hope, as you heard, though, that he finds a pathway to healing. And I think there might be one out there. And I think if we were brothers like that in healing, I think it could be super cool. And free will, man. It's just a lot of bad spots, but it also gives us our very divinity on some level. Uncle Seth, thanks for tuning in, being a part of this. Thanks for listening, Uncle Seth, and we love you, bro. Peace out. See you soon if you're going to Art Automata. And this might come out after. So hopefully you're back safe. Much love to you. See you later.